it as a story, a truth. And this is where we share it. You heard Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Yes, welcome, and a beautiful evening to you wherever you're listening from. It's been a cold Tuesday here on Airport Road where we are situated. In fact, you could say it's been a cold Tuesday generally in the city of Lagos, but let us be a gentle reminder: always stay warm, stay healthy, and take good care of yourself. And yes, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It feels great to be in the studios once again, to bring you truth, to serve you truth we hardly talk about. So I say, welcome to the Unspoken Truth Tuesday edition, Which Way Nigeria, on that station that gives you a voice of the people, 90.3 FM. I'm your host, your radio nighttime partner, and my name is Deollaa. Actually, it's no news that schools officially resumed for the new session that should be last week Monday. And can I tell you that with that resumption, with that new term comes new hope. And for many parents, it comes with a heavy price to be paid. Tonight on Which Way Nigeria, we'll be talking about money and the heavy price many Nigerian parents have to pay to keep their children in private schools. Is it truly education if private school owners' priority is profit over their student? Can you say for sure that it is truly about education, it is truly about impacting knowledge in the student if their priority is profit over the same student? Well, we are going to talk about it. We are going to dissect this issue bothering us together, and I'll be hearing from you as we proceed. Well, the studio lines to make your contribution are 0700 903 903 903. You can as well reach us via 08036 929 Remember that you can also join me tonight via the studio WhatsApp line, and the number is 0817 175 6338. Or you can join the live stream on YouTube right now at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. But let's get into it. Is it truly education if private school owners' priority is profit over their student? Now, if I'm to start with this plain reality, education is supposed to be a ladder that helps children climb out of poverty, ignorance, and limitations, right? In fact, that's why we say always that education is key to success. But in today's Nigeria, can I tell you that that ladder is getting harder to reach? Not because parents don't want the best for their children, no, but because the cost of climbing that ladder is almost breaking their backs. It is not easy for Nigerian parents these days to fund their children, going to private schools. It has become like a burden. And so if we're saying education is key to success for many Nigerian parents currently, as I speak, trust me, the cost of climbing that ladder is breaking their backs. Now, if we're also being honest, many parents choose private schools not because they are rich or they are extravagant, but because public schools in most cases have failed them. There was a time where everyone wanted their kids to go to public schools, but like I said, public schools have failed many parents, and that is why you see people going, they prefer to, let's just take our children to private schools. And then what we see now in public schools is not what public schools used to be back in the days. We now see they strike every now and then. You see classrooms that are not conducive. There is no conducive learning environment for this student in public schools. You even see teachers being unmotivated. The teachers just act carefree. They take teaching with levity. They don't care whether they go to class to teach this student or not. And coupled with the fact that these teachers are even underpaid, they feel like, what's the essence of going to teach these children when we are not even getting our salaries? And so a lot has changed about public schools, and that is why the only option for Nigerian parents is to take their kids to private schools. So the ordinary parents, whether a petty trader, a civil servant, strives to give their children what they never had. But this is the painful question. Are private school owners, are they now making things easier, or are they adding to the suffering? Because if you ask me now, the reason why parents prefer to take their children to private schools is now hooking them. It is hooking their neck. It is becoming extreme for them to keep their children in these private schools. Now, if you think about it very well, think about it carefully. Every new term, I'm heading somewhere and you have to come along with me. Every new term in a private school comes with a new story. Today you hear this one. When they're about to resume, you hear another one. In another session, you hear another one. And that's why I said this whole situation we're talking about, this issue we're talking about on the show tonight, is as a result of the fact that, in fact, schools just resumed last week Monday, and there is a lot that has been going on that needs to be ironed out on the show. Now, like I said, every new week comes with a new story. When you hear people say, school fees, parents are about to pay their school fees, it usually means the money the parents are paying to get their children impacted, to get knowledge. But for majority of parents in our society today, that school fees is more than just one line on an invoice. So an invoice, when you get an invoice, you see the amount. This is the amount you pay for a particular service and all of that. It is beyond that. If you ask parents now, school fees is like you are telling them to sink into a hole, like you dug a pit for them. That is what school fees is for many parents as we are talking. And every term, like I say, every term, first term, second term, third term, you just see sudden jumps in these school fees. Initially, the school is paying the child is required to pay say 150,000 naira for that term, and in the next term an additional 70,000 naira has been added. And sometimes this addition comes with little or no explanation. They don't even give you the explanation that, this is the money, this is the reason why you're making this payment, this is the reason why this school fees had an extra or an additional amount. It comes with little or no explanation. And when you now even add other compulsory fees that you have to pay, the money becomes unaffordable. Some parents, as I speak to you, as I'm talking in the studio right now, are intending to borrow money elsewhere. They are intending to go get loan so that they can pay their child school fees. In fact, some parents that have 3 children, they are still struggling to even pay just one child's school fees, talk more of the other 2. Some parents have to skip basic necessities just to meet the school deadline. They will still even give you a deadline that, after 2-3 weeks and you've not made your payment, they'll stop your child from coming to the school. Imagine if there was a situation where a mother had to start buying less food at home just so she can afford a child's term fee. This particular issue, trust me, has caused many families, like I said, to fall into short-term loans, late payments. They cannot afford the money. It is huge. They cannot afford the money private schools are expecting them to pay. And even it comes with the risk of having their children denied access to those schools, because of course when the parents don't pay for the child's school fees, the child gets to the school gate and then they tell you, your name is not on the list of those that have made payment, and so you are not allowed to enter the school gate. And that child, in shame, has to go back home. They will send those kids back home because payment has not been made. The cost of private schools in Nigeria as we speak is so extreme. I'm not talking about just Lagos, I'm talking about Nigeria generally. In fact, one of the most painful practices is the sudden change of prescribed textbooks. One term, a school tells parents to buy, say you buy book A this term, and some notebooks. The next term, that same school is insisting that book A is no longer valid and you have to get book B. And book B, they insist that book B is compulsory. If you look at this, it has even made it impossible for younger children, to use the books their older siblings already finished with. If you go back in the days, back in those times, there were times where as younger siblings, as younger children, we had to use our older siblings' textbooks, those past questions that has been used by our older siblings. They keep it for us, the younger generation. They keep it, and then when it gets to our turn, we make use of those textbooks. We make use of those past questions. But now it is no longer like that. This term you have to buy this textbook. Another term they are changing it entirely. So the parents who once relied on handling down books from one child to the other, one generation to the other, now find themselves forced to buy new set of books every year. Tell me where that money is coming from. In fact, beyond the money, think about it. Is it not wasteful? Isn't it wasteful? New copies of books that are still perfectly readable, and they end up just being abandoned. Nobody's going to use them. Another painful fact is that in many schools, many private schools, parents are not also allowed to buy those textbooks or exercise books from outside. The school tells the parent, you must buy directly from our bookshop, the school shop, or you buy it from the preferred supplier as dictated by the school. So if the school is saying this is the only place you can get this book, this is the only place you can buy this book, you have no choice, you have no option, you have to buy it from them. And when you are doing that, you are actually saying that, when a school or the preferred vendor as described by the school, as prescribed by the school, becomes the only place to buy those textbooks, those exercise books, the prices will be inflated. It will increase, definitely. If you're to get that textbook outside for 2,500 naira, the school shop will sell it for you 4,000 naira, because they know you have no other option to get that book, to get that textbook. They are the only option you have. They are the only place, they are the only last hope you have to get that textbook from. And so the prices will definitely be inflated. And some suppliers now even sell poor quality materials at high cost. There's just a lot to say. But which way exactly for us? Which way, Nigeria? In fact, there is this tradition also that reminds me. Some private schools now require 3 to 4. Am I saying 4? In fact, some schools require 4 to 5 uniforms, different uniforms. I'll break it down to you. They have the daily uniform, they have the sport kit, they have the traditional the cultural dress for special days, and sometimes even a neat uniform for ceremonies. So all of these uniforms, they have their own should I call it duty? They have their own purpose, let's put it that way. And each set, the daily uniform, the sport kit, the ceremonial dress, each of this uniform has its own price tag. Parents are told uniforms must be purchased directly from the school's approved tailor or shop. Now, add the fact that, of course, you don't expect a child to remain how they used to be forever, how they are, and you don't expect them to remain that way forever. They will definitely grow, and they grow quickly. They outgrow this school clothes. And so, as parents, as Nigerian parents that you have another recurring cost that hits the family hard. It is still the same, and parents that are left, to foot the bills, pay house rent, feed the family. You do this, you do that for your extended family, and at the same time, you're supposed to sponsor your children to school. But while you're also doing that, remember that child is also going to eat. That child is also going to buy bag. He's also going to buy shoe, buy socks, buy 1 or 2 things while going to school. But then there is a cost that school is also telling you that you must pay when it comes to buying uniforms. You have to keep changing those uniforms. As your child grows, you keep buying, you keep changing uniforms. Like I said, a lot of them. But now, buying multiple uniforms each year, if you ask me, is excessive, especially for rapidly growing children. And if you really ask yourself, if you're being honest with yourself, let's ask ourselves this question: is it the uniform, that uniform that they are telling us to buy? Is it that uniform that has to the quality of knowledge those children get? Or what is actually being taught in the classroom? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying school uniforms are bad. No, that's not even the problem. Uniforms create a sense of identity. There is discipline. There is unity. But the truth is, some schools are going too extreme. There is Monday wear. What your child wear, you know what I'm saying. What your child put on Monday is different from what they wear on Tuesday. Is different from what they put on Wednesday. Is different from what they put on Thursday and on Friday. And parents are told they must buy every single one. At that point, it is no longer about learning. It is definitely it is not about learning at that point. It is not about loading parents with more bills upon bills upon bills upon bills. Let's now talk about the very essential one. I won't leave the studio without talking about this very one. And it's about the unnecessary graduation parties and an unavoidable social expense, if you ask me. You hear graduation parties for kids in kindergarten, nursery, primary 1. It's now even a trend. As you are graduating from one class to the other, you keep doing parties, graduation parties, and parents are required to pay fees for those parties. What started as a small celebration has now become an industry. You pay for gowns, you pay for decorations, you pay for photographers, you hire MCs, refreshments, this one, that one fee. And for many parents, in fact, I think there was a time where we heard it in the news that some state governors have moved to stop this burden. They had to ban it. States like Imo, we have the likes of Edo, Oshu, and I think Ogun. the government have banned these unnecessary graduation parties in public schools, and they've also urged private schools to follow suit. That's a welcome step, but I also have to add that parents need assurance that those rules are followed and extended where possible. Because these ceremonies, you do this one graduation party today, you do that one celebration party tomorrow, and this and this and that. These ceremonies had non-academic cost and social pressure. You now see parents running helter skelter. Meet our children's school. They said they want to do end of the year party. They asked us to pay 15,000 naira. Hey, this one, that one. Running helter skelter. And like I said, that 15,000 naira you are required to pay for the party, the graduation party. It is not just for your 4 kids. So 15,000 naira for each child. So if you have 3-4 kids in that same school, do the mathematics, multiply 15,000 naira by 4, and you see that what you are spending is something that can be avoided. I'm asking, which way Nigeria? Because this is something that is affecting every one of us. It is affecting every family, every Nigerian parent as I speak. And there is this one that must also be talked about on the show: miscellaneous fees, levies that keep multiplying. The money, let me break it down. The money they asked us to pay for this, for that, the extra cost aside the school fee itself. You have the likes of Parent Teachers Association, PTA. You pay PTA fee, development fee, ICT fee, generator fee, security fee, exam fees. Hey! Beyond textbooks and uniforms are the long list of fees that you are required to pay for. They'll tell you, this one, it is called development fee. We are doing some renovation, or we are doing some workshop, this one, that one, and the amount you are required to pay for each child is 7,000 naira. PTA comes with its own parents. For the PTA association, you are required to pay for each child 3,000 naira. ICT fee, generator diesel contribution, you are paying security fee, examination charges, excursion fees, sports day charges. And because they say your children are exercising every sports day, be it Thursday or Wednesday, they are going to do some exercise, and so you are required to pay for some charges. You name it, just a lot of them. Some schools introduce new fees every term. In fact, some introduce it mid-term and expect immediate payment. They tell you at the middle of the session of the term that tell your parents, children, when you get home, tell your daddy and your mommy you're now to come with a sum of 2,000 naira when you're coming on Monday, when you're resuming on Monday for so and so. Most of this are labeled for the good of the children, which is, you can say it is true sometimes, but there is a difference. We have to get it clearly. There is a difference between necessary investment and forever growing costs. Because if you ask me, you keep paying for this one, you keep paying for that one, you keep paying for that one, and it is not even becoming, it is not looking anymore like what you're required to pay for your children to get knowledge anymore, but more like a cost that will never stop growing, that will never stop increasing. And that's why I'm asking, which way, where are we heading to? the most bitter truth is when expensive schools do not even deliver corresponding quality. This is just like the saying that what I ordered versus what I'm getting. Because you know how much you are spending on your children when it comes to their education. You pay a huge amount for them to get impacted, for them to get knowledge, for them to become literate. And at the end of the day, the quality, the end result is not even matching the cost you paid for. High fees should actually mean that, okay, of course, they are getting better facilities, they have well-trained teachers, there is an improved positive outcome. But many parents today, they pay premium fees, like they pay a huge sum of money, and still find overcrowded classrooms. They still find their students in this situation where the teachers are even poorly paid, and there is no clear evidence of better learning. Now that gap is what makes parents feel exploited rather than being served. And even beyond money, there is shame, because parents feel judged if they can't pay their money. Many remain silent because they feel like their children is going to be punished if they don't pay those fees, or their children will be sent home. There is shame, and that is something they are trying to avoid. And that is why Nigerian parents give their best. They strive just to see that their children get the best. But that best, can you actually say that it is the best? Can you say for sure that it is truly about education or about profit to these private school owners? So I'm asking once more, which way, Nigeria? Much have been said already, and it's that time to hear from you. You can actually reach us via the studio line 0700 903 903 903, or you can call 08036 929933. Remember that you can also share me your thoughts, your opinion on what I'm talking about on the show. Share your input via the studio WhatsApp line. The number is 0817 175 6338. Or join me live on YouTube right now. Just search for Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and then you can share your thoughts. But we'll dive into that in a moment. But let's actually listen to this sound that will actually make us wonder which way are we heading to? Which way for us in the private, especially in the private education sector? Stay with me, I'll be back. The title of this one you want to listen to is Monster by Burna Boy. Welcome back from that music break. You're still listening to the Unspoken Truth Tuesday edition titled Which Way Nigeria. My name is Deollaa and I'm your radio nighttime partner. Well, you've heard a lot from me tonight, but it's time to step into the court of public opinion. Your opinion matters because this conversation is definitely not complete without your voice. Now, if I'm to ask you, because of course I want to hear from you, calling with your experience, what is that every price you as a Nigerian parent have had to pay to keep your children in private schools? Can you say for sure that it is about education? Yes, they are receiving the best education, or you feel it has become a situation where profit is prioritized over the student? Did your children at school change textbooks last term because of course the session just resumed, or are you forced to even buy from a single vendor? What are those unnecessary payments you've had to pay as a Nigerian parent to keep your child in school? And what is the way forward concerning this issue we are talking about? What exactly can you suggest to make this better for everyone? I have a woman who almost pulled her children out of school after the proprietors introduced a computer maintenance fee. Remember earlier when I was talking about the unnecessary fees that they even sum up for parents to pay in a school where this is the same school where that same child has never touched an actual computer, but the parent of that child was asked to pay a computer maintenance fee, requesting of I think that was about 15,000 naira computer maintenance fee. There is also this man where his child's school requested 250,000 naira per term for primary 2. The child is in primary 2 and the amount he's paying is 250,000 naira. That's 250,000 naira. That's almost a university tuition fee in some government-owned institution. Now, the sad part, in fact, is that many parents cannot even complain. They can't complain, and that is why we are doing this on the show tonight. Because, if you raise your voice too loud, the school will be like, they'll politely suggest you find another school. And then you are even left strained, you are left stranded because the other schools around you are charging the same or even higher. So there are no options left. You are left with no option than to just leave your child in that school and pay whatsoever fee they've asked you to pay. So I asked tonight, which way Nigeria? Should education, a basic right, now be treated like a luxury for the privileged? Should children of the poor be condemned to substandard public schools because their parents cannot meet the endless demands, the fees private schools are demanding from them? We must actually also balance this conversation, because if I'm to say it, proprietors face their own struggles. That's not an issue. That's a fact. There is, of course, high inflation and diesel costs. They have to pay taxes, constant rise in prices of book. Understandable. But at what point? At what point did it move from survival to exploitation? At what point do schools stop seeing education as a ministry and start seeing it only as a profit venture? We know you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that, but if you look at the gap between the cost of what you're bearing compared to the cost you are asking parents to pay, of course the gap is something you don't even want to talk about. I'm telling you that parents are bleeding financially. Some parents don't even know where to go right now to get their children's school fees. Some are taking loans just to keep their children in school. Some are sacrificing feeding at home, medical bills, just so their children can go to school, because of course we've said it that education is key to success. Some are cutting down every personal expenses, personal needs, just so they can pay that school fees on time. But the truth is simple. Education, if care is not taken, will soon become the preserve of the elite. It will become a thing that only the rich can avoid, while millions of children are left behind. And when a society leaves its children behind, the future itself is already lost. That is why we listened to the song earlier by Bracket, saying that you should take care of the leaders of tomorrow. We have to put them into consideration. But the way things are going with private school owners, it is becoming difficult to keep sending children to school. So I throw this question to you listening to me right now. What exactly is the way forward? Because at the end of the day, we are not just talking about money. We are talking about the future of Nigeria's children. And that, my people, is too costly. If you ask me, hey, it is too costly to gamble with. So wherever you are right now, and you are asking, how do I become a part of the conversation? Yes, the numbers to call are 0700 903 903 903, or you can call 080 3692 9933. Remember that you can also send me a text, a message of your opinion, your thoughts on what we are talking about, your suggestions, your possible solution via the WhatsApp line. The number is 0817 175 6338, or you join me live on YouTube right now at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. And remember that when you join me, remember to tell me your name and where you are calling from. And I think we have our first caller here already. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's Patrick.
Welcome to the show, Patrick.
Yeah, talking about education.
Yeah.
Kudos to the current parent that is doing well.
Thank you. It's not been easy, like you said. Kudos to them.
Yeah. You know, when we are growing up in this Nigeria, government school is nearby. Are you with?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So, some reason why some parents are putting their child in a private school is because most of these public schools are far. Nearby, you know, for security reasons, you have to put your child nearby.
Okay.
You understand? So that's like some reasons, and government should do well to build more public schools.
Okay, so you feel like when there are lots of public schools, private schools will have no option than to reduce these fees because it seems like they feel like they are the only option. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
But what about the current public schools that we even have that they are not in good situation?
They are in good situation. It's just that the teachers there, they are not doing their job.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So the teacher should rethink. They should rethink because they are paid. They are collecting salary. They are doing well. So government should do more.
All right. Thank you so much, Patrick, for your contribution on the show tonight. So if I get Patrick correctly, for him it's about government building more public schools so that private schools are left more like the wings they have will be broken. Okay. Let's hear from others. Hello.
Yeah, Deollaa.
Good evening to you.
Your voice so fine.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
I commend your effort too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is Dr. Prince.
Welcome to the program, Dr. Prince.
Ojo Lagos, yes.
All right.
I say my postgraduate, I read education. It wasn't my background, but I decided to know what should be the proper education.
Okay.
To help someone develop skills and improve on his personality. So I have a book, I call it Bible of Education.
All right.
Got it from University of Nigeria, Nsukka, those days. Now, right from beginning, going by the letters of education fathers
Mm-hmm.
like Socrates and Aristotle,
Yeah.
this
Pluto and the likes.
Plato, Greek ancient philosophers.
Mm.
You know, and Socrates came long time ago. The mother was a nurse, but Aristotle of recent. Uh, Education was not meant to be expensive
Of
on,
course.
on the part of parents, and it's a social requirement, a burden on the government. But it's unfortunate what we are seeing nowadays.
Very
Now,
unfortunate. Quite unfortunate.
do you know one thing? Many schools you see as private schools, mostly in Nigeria here, I don't know about many other countries. They are not there for education as such. They are doing business. Yes. Yeah, you can see many people who did not even go to primary school or secondary school and they own schools. They're not after the quality of education being offered to the pupils there or students. They're asking the teachers or the principal how much money are they making every month, every time. Where's your concern? The uniform we talked about, the special dressing and other functions,
Yeah.
where all the levies they impose, it's just meant for the school proprietor or proprietress to make money. So you can maybe open more schools, build houses, travel abroad, and improve on his family. So whatever that's given to the students at the end of the day, that's their concern. Sometimes they even arrange for examinations, to be written for their students so that they can pass very well. You know, shadow results. Make sure that you can even hire some people, some consultants to write examinations, just to make their schools popular, right? So, but when you get to public schools, it's there you find brains. When you go to public schools, you see that there are some children of the poor, very poor people, the young children, that go to public schools, and you see there they go through the tortures and the rigors, and they still pass and they go to university to create knowledge. I've been there on campus. I've had many people from different backgrounds, nursery backgrounds, private backgrounds, secondary background. But when they come to that level, you see that there's a balance of knowledge. And what you see will surprise you, that even those who went to public schools will overtake the so-called students of the private schools. This I'm talking to you from experience now, right? So most times the blame is on government. If there's a failure, on part of education of the society, the government bears the greatest blame. In a country like Mauritius, no sand, or sorry, let me say no such natural resource. It's only heaven and sand they have, Mauritius. Leader said, what do we do about this country? We don't have anything. It's only the sky and the sand of the earth. They said everybody must go to school. They made it compulsory. And they did it. So today, they have the best engineers, best medical doctors. They said the best resource is in the brain of every child. Nobody should be illiterate in this society. So everybody became educated to know what is inside the brain, because when you open the brain of a child, it's either you see medical doctor, or you see engineer, or you see accountant, or you see economist, or you see educationist. That's what the brain contains, because the brain contains more than 14 billion cells. That's it. So that somebody can even do what we call maybe multidisciplinary course. You are this, you are that, you are not the rest of them. That's why you can see a lawyer who's also a political scientist, at the same time he's an educationist, he's a human resource. But the brain can contain all those things, right? Why do politicians in Nigeria leave schools here and they send their children abroad? What do you think that they're looking for? The best for their children, right? So if the schools here are well organized, and children don't go through torture and suffer a lot of things, public schools should be the best.
Right.
So the private school should only be competing with the public schools. That's all. Just competition.
But reverse is the case now. Reverse is the case. What we see.
Because government, sometimes government may even make the budget, but the money goes into private pockets. Who are you to question the school principal while the roof is leaking?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Prince.
You know my point?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Go to public schools. Do you find toilets there? Look at the environment, stinking. Look at the floors broken. Look at sometimes it for students to carry chairs and seats from their parents' home to the children's school. And right under the watch of teachers, students go into a lot of things, go into cultism, get spoiled, live bad life, and teachers don't care. So there's a lot to be done in public school for improvement, my dear.
Okay.
And that's why education is a necessary factor for national development. And if we don't get it right, then we are far from developing our country.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prince, for being a part of the show tonight.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Prince took us back. He came with facts and he analyzed the whole situation. But it still boils down to the fact that public schools has brought about, is the cause. Can we say indirectly is the cause, is the reason why private school owners they are able to leverage on the fact that public schools are not even doing so well. They're not doing well enough for the students, for the children, and that is why they feel, of course, you have no option left than to just come to us. And government, in that sense, are expected to do so much in that sector for things to get better. Okay, let's get on this very one. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
My name is Ralph from Satellite Town.
Welcome.
This topic is very, very fantastic. It should be something we will discuss in the afternoon.
Thank
See,
you.
I'll blame government first. When you mention what people in these secondary, private schools to surprise, we're not just talking about school fees. What of this idea of that somebody will pick a textbook, no other student will use it?
Exactly.
And they write inside the textbook. What does it mean? What do you mean of that? Do you know that I pay for my 4 kids, I pay more than we can not mention, sir. The money I pay for them, not just that you pay this money, they pack books to give them. They will be the one to provide school uniform that you can get outside at cheaper price. They will be the one to provide sauce, tie, everything, exercise book, and even exercise book. Like when we're growing up, we think say something like B is a boy or A is for aeroplane, B is for ball.
Yeah.
But today, every school has changed everything. I don't know why my son will use textbook in primary 2 and then move to primary 3 and they will all be condemned. And if you check these books, they didn't use up to half of it.
At all.
Every term, every year, you bring them all the school year. They can't abandon them. Then, after paying the school fees now, and sometimes they can add them to the school fees. Maybe all those other charges, maybe sports, some things, this and that. Then I still have the teachers will now advise you to still have extra teachers after school. And then you see the students go to school by 8 o'clock, close by 2 o'clock, come back with homework that is homework that they will not be able to finish in 5 hours. Then they will advise the children to use their phone bag to go there and do the homework. So what are you teaching as the teacher there? The thing is annoying me. You wasting money for nothing. School doesn't have any computer. It's just about collecting money. What we're paying today is not what you're learning. What we're paying is the building. That's what paying house rent. Because school now is like business. I know a lot of my friends, they have schools. They didn't know anything about school, but they're traders. Marry woman, graduates, so like that. Build the house, open school, put somebody there. They keep on employing these students to move from secondary school because teaching work is no longer attractive as it was used to. So you hardly see permanent teachers, just a few permanent teachers, people that all these people that feel just SS1, the copper paper, all those things.
Yeah.
And my children will keep on complaining that they're changing teachers, and that is affecting their brain, and we don't know. You see a teacher teach you this, the next another teacher, they're not playing up.
It's not.
All they just go to school and come back. The clean education system is paining me. I blame government. If government schools are working, and also when we are young, I remember that there's people that normally come to school to check how teachers are working. They won't even tell them they will see them just come. It doesn't happen today.
Inspection.
And then teachers normally go for something like a school shop building after when they not good days to go and read more and come back. It doesn't happen again. All people know is just to give them approval. Open school, trade the way you like. I live in satellite town. No school is less than 250. Let me say 140,000 for per students.
Hey.
In satellite town, I'm telling you. If I mention people will know me. I'm paying for my school for my children, about 4 of them, but it's not easy. If I didn't take them to government school, is it like that? And because of this government school and private school can't have this like they are far from each other. I think people that are going to government school are not their life is low.
Yeah.
Government made this to be like this. The money is too much. What you're paying is the house rent of people going to study, not the teacher, not what they're learning. Because at the end of the day, they will still have a stamina teacher. They'll have this. You will pay this. You pay for school bus. You pay for their food. You pay for the coming. You pay for the going. You pay for the sports. You pay for the end of the year. Thank you for this program. Father, I think I'll use myself with it. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
The frustration is too much, honestly.
Thank you. And in fact, I think on this note, I should actually say kudos. Yes, a big salute to every Nigerian parent that has not, given up on their children education. Like the last caller said, it's not been easy. It's a huge feat if you're saying you want to send your kids to school and you're still pushing them, you're still trying, you're not relenting. It's a huge one. So this is me saying, I salute everyone, and we're talking about what the issue is tonight. Of course, with few suggestions. I want to believe that there should be a way to go about this. There should definitely be a solution to this issue affecting every one of us. And before we continue with the phone lines, let me take a couple of messages. This one is coming from Opeoluwa, texting from Ijesha Tedo. I should be correct with that one. Opeoluwa is saying, good evening. It's quite a long one, but I'll try to be fast with it. She's saying, good evening. They are really using our brains, and we can only stop this if every parent will be in one accord. But there are some rich parents that usually shows off. Okay, imagine in my children's school, they will collect 1,200 naira for a storybook, but okay, for the sake of literature, every term, out of 7 chapters, they will read only 2. Storybook of 200 naira outside. My children exercise books remains last session, and some are just about 5 pages that they've used. So I cut out the pages used and added the new ones and gave to my younger daughter, and bought new one for the eldest one. They told me I can't do that. I have to buy new books for both children, and they sell in bundle. I think that's like six packs. 6 notebooks in 1 pack, or 12 thereabout. My children started their school half of the school session before 1 month will be completed. Boom, they have increased the school fees by 5,000 naira each. What I think will stop all this is for the government to intervene. Well, that's coming from Opeoluwa, all the way from Ijesha Tedo. I'm telling you that there is a lot going on in these private schools. A lot going on. And let me still take this very one, saying, good evening, VOP. We can demonize private investors in the educational sector, but it is government giving grants, low cost loans, subsidy and tax rebate and incentives to practitioners in the sector. Most people of my generation, the millennials, saw and witnessed the gradual destruction of our public schools. Although I attended a private primary school, why do children use all books as workbooks in this age? All sorts of marketing gimmicks, yet the children don't know jack. What is the government doing to make the public school get back to standard? I can't mention the name of that school, but he said he went to one school, a government school, public school, one of the 5 premium models model colleges in Lagos State. Then the school was well funded, and we had elite in the state sending their children wards to the school. But what do we have today? We have elite celebrities and Hollywood artists. Mentioned some names who attended the school, but can they afford to send their children to the same school whose educational infrastructure had since decayed? What are alumni doing about their secondary schools? Nothing but brands just to sell their product, only at universities convocation, and no tangible investment into educational research. And this one is coming from architect Olalekon in Ijaye. Thank you so much for this very one, for your contribution on the show. And we go back to the phone lines. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please, can you tune down the volume of the radio set?
So sorry.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for making up this program.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
Okay.
You see, I'm into the know of these schools.
Okay.
Talking about these uniforms. I wish to remind you, they have a beautiful Thursdays. You have a Thank God It's Friday, and you have Wednesday and the normal uniform. So apart from that, I'm a printer. I print for private schools too. You understand me now?
Okay.
And then there was a day I asked, they are buying bags, and I asked, what are you going to do with this? They said they want to use it for graduation. I think for the students in schools, they say no. They just give them out. And a bag is bought for 15,000 and being sold for 40,000. I shouted, but I cannot blame them much. For honestly, I cannot blame them. You know why? It is the blame is on the part of the government. The government are not taking proper solution to tackle the menace of these people, like checking them for the graduations they are doing. How can a kindergarten be graduated to nursery, from nursery is going to graduate again to primary school, graduating from it's just extortion. Now if you start a school now, before you know it, they buy a building. You just start from the flat. Before you know it, they buy a building. So it is a business on the part of those private schools. If you go to banks today, they will not give you loans so easily. But if you are a school, loan will be granted to you. I mean, to the know of this thing, honestly speaking, and this thing is disgusting. Another thing that I blame government for is this non-charity about the school, like the public schools. Yes, I want to take my child away from a private school to public schools. I was into the PTA, and I challenged them much. I pursued it, and we got some results then. So if the parents too can challenge or take up the seriousness on the part of the government schools, I think something will work out. But the neglect so much is on the government side.
Well, thank you.
Look at
okay.
So I'm speaking from Lagos Island. Look at the schools on the schools.
Okay.
Sometimes there are no seats. There are no tables. There are no fan. When I pass by all these schools, it's just a sorry guide. I don't know. So you see now, government has to do something. They have to do something to make people, because if there is seriousness on the part of the public schools, the private schools will check themselves, because if they don't have much students in their schools, they will have to cut down the expenses they are putting on parents. In our time, if you buy books in a family, you read one book.
Yes.
If your brother if you transfer to your other brother or sisters, you transfer. And so I think we are. I don't know. It's just a thing that government to check, Government to check this thing.
All right.
These people are doing business. They are not really teaching the students. So thank you for bringing up this thing. I really appreciate you.
Thank
This
you
is Adi
so
from Lagos Island.
Thank you very
Thank you much.
for your contribution
Yeah.
tonight.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, Ngozi from Ikoyi said, I struggle balancing budgets for my kids' private school in Lagos. I wish public schools had better resources. Kemi from Ogba is saying, sending kids to private schools here feels like a financial burden. Quality education should be accessible, not just for the wealthy. And similar to what Kemi said, Deollaa from Ikoto is saying private schools in Nigeria are draining parents' pockets. Fees are sky high, affecting families' finances big time. Well, just like we've been saying on the show, it's actually a huge one for Nigerian parents. Okay, this one is saying, my name is Ugochukwu. In fact, God will bless you for this topic that you brought to us. God bless you too. These private schools are taking us for granted. Where my kids reschooling, where my kids are schooling, they even ask me to pay damaging fees in case my kids damaged anything in the school. Well, government needs to do the needful, and that's coming from Ugochukwu. We used to take a few messages or calls. Well, let's see. Well, a mom is saying parents choosing private schools want best for their kids. Often see good outcomes with the right schools. Okay. Probably you might be my last caller. Hello.
Hi, Deollaa.
Hi, good evening to you.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to have you.
Yeah, welcome to another brand new week.
Thank you so much. Happy New Week to you too.
Yeah, so hope you are seeing the rain and we thought you are
yeah, we've just we're trying to stay warm.
Okay.
Cold Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to see this topic that you are talking about. Well, not really which way Nigeria.
To be honest.
Where are we even going to start? And the one thing again is that you see this thing. Growing up children, maybe from a year down to, let's just say from primary school. You understand? Now you can't even say you leave your child in government school at that age. You understand what I'm saying? Because they are nowhere taken care of. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So that's why most parents throw their children into all these some private schools. You understand? Yes, if you go and check some government school that is even more, let's just say more small better than when they are in secondary school. You can still, let's manage it. You understand? But leaving your child you can't even enroll your child of 1 year, 2 years in government school at that age. You understand? Because they will not be well taken care of.
Okay.
They are just on their own. You understand? And that is what government needs to put eyes into. You understand? Because so many things is going on in that government school. Yes, so many of us pass through government school. You understand?
Yeah.
And it wasn't as bad as it is now. Yes, in this my side.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm with you.
So it's not as much as it's not as bad as it was. Yes, you see so many of these notable people that so many of them they did not even attend the private school. Though.
Hmm.
So many of them, if you mention how many 100 of them, let's just say like 5% or thereabout will come from a private school, while the rest are government school.
Hmm.
You understand?
Hmm.
And they stand out. But now what is happening?
What are we saying?
What is happening? Is not even advisable. You understand? Yes, private school and them too. They need to know how they do their own things. You understand? Yes. So some of them have high school uniform, and again, is some mother that is making that request of it. Yes, because so many of them too are lazy. They will tell you, I can't be washing school uniform every day. You understand? Some of them, they are the one using their mouth to even make them to put some kind of necessary things. You understand? They are the one making requests for it. You understand?
Yeah.
Tell me what a small child that is going to school is going to. They will tell me is going for how did they even put it? They will do Instagram day, TikTok day, in school, and parents are paying for it. It's not a joking matter, Deollaa. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
That's
Instagram day. Yes, Instagram day, TikTok day, and they will do a promo for it, and parents are paying for it. You understand? And you tell me okay, mothers will pack their bag and send their child to. They tell me they're hanging a sleepover. See, Deollaa, so many things are happening that need to be corrected. Yes, a child that is in primary school, you tell me a parents will release that child to go and say is sleeping over in school. What kind of sleeping over? And parents will pack their bags. So this thing that yes, I'm not talking about it. I'm just paying for it. Yes, I have them in my compound. Where I'm staying, the parents will pay for it and send the child there. You see, it's them that is making all these private school to put some necessary things. You understand? When you put these things, when you see no parents that pay for it, you will remove it.
Well,
you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, but parents are also encouraging it. That's why they are putting it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying.
So many things have gone on, and you can't even imagine leaving your baby in the hands of government school now. Let's just say that child. Let's manage it from secondary school, but from little age is a no. You understand? Because things are not working. Assuming things are working perfectly, you will say, okay, you will even be happy doing that. You understand?
Yeah.
So, my dear, is really which way Nigeria. So many things have gone wrong.
So many.
Yes, so many things. So many things have gone wrong, and some parents are the one encouraging it, assuming they are not happy with that. So many unnecessary things will have been removed from some private school.
Well, thank
because
you.
Some private school are doing what is not even in curriculum of learning. Yes, you understand? There's some things that doesn't even need, and parents are the one paying for it. If they are not paying, they will not be doing such things. But they are paying. That means they are encouraging it. They like it.
But most parents are left with no option.
See, my sister. Yes, if you say you no go pay, nobody go put knife for your neck. You understand? Yes, you hold your child. You send them to school. I don't have money to pay for it. Simple. Nobody go kill you. You understand? But it's you that they put. You see, like I said, if they put all these things and no parents come out to pay for it, they will remove it instantly. You understand? That's as in why they are putting it is that they see parents that is paying for it. That is just it.
Okay, I'll take that one from you.
Well done.
Thank you so much. You tell me your
Thank
name.
you.
You tell me your name and where you're calling
This
from.
is Chidera
All right. Thank you
from
so
Agbo
much.
Palace. Thank you.
All right.
And do have a wonderful rest night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Well, that was quite a lengthy one, and she took it from another angle entirely. She's not even talking about, of course, there was an aspect where we had to involve the government and the public schools not being what they used to be, but she's emphasizing on the fact that even parents seem to encourage this attitude, they are okay with this fees they are paying. And that's why this private school owners feel like, of course, since the parents are paying, then we can continue doing what we are doing. There's nobody that is going to hold us, nobody's going to question us. And that was the angle she was talking from. But let's say that I'll be taking just this one more message. We might not be able to get on the phone lines anymore because the time is getting closer to that particular time where I have to call it a night on the show. And this one is coming from architect Deollaa saying, preschool, crèche, nursery, kindergarten, after school are all strategies to get money out of the parent's pocket. He said, I taught briefly at one school around Ikoton area of Lagos. Every class had different colors. And when he asked why it was so, the proprietor said it was a Montessori style. He also said his wife is a trained educator. And when he once asked her what a Montessori style means, she told him it is a kind of educational psychological way of teaching which allows the child to learn at his or her own pace. Now he's saying, I don't understand how this Montessori style of teaching harmonizes with what is being practiced by practitioners. They even bill parents for games, for sports, karate, dance club, and activities like career day, food and culture day, which they don't pay the tutors well on. Schools also charge excessive bill to receive O-level result of the exams that you pay for after paying the school heavily for the exams. Hey, I really don't understand that part. After paying the school heavily for the exams that pay exam bodies like, we cannot mention name cheaply. Well, architect Olamilekon, thank you so much for your contribution on the show. I feel like if we continue to get on more calls or messages, I might not be able to leave the studios tonight. But this is me saying I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to everyone that still wants to be a part of the show. But because of time, we might not be able to take any more calls or receive messages again for the issue we brought to the program tonight. Well, if you ask me, it's been such a great time on the show tonight, but this is the time to go. And just as many of you rightly said, parents should begin to ask for an itemized fee schedule. Let us see what we are paying for. Let us know at the start of every term and insist on proper receipt. Not at the middle of the term and then the schools come up with, parents, you have to pay this, you have to pay for this. What exactly is the Parents Teachers Association for if issues like this cannot be deliberated at those meetings and there is a proper resolution, there is an agreement that this fee won't be paid for because of course it is of no use, it is not adding any value to the educational system. All of these things needs to be worked on, both on the parents' part and on the teachers' part, as well as the proprietors, the private school owners. In fact, there should also be a push for substandardized and limited uniform. Of course, we are saying you people, our children is going to put on uniform, but it should be limited, with parents even given the opportunity to source for them openly and affordable. In fact, the state government federal government should also be involved. There should be a board that must be involved to enforce basic rules, basic regulations for private school charges. Because if you keep talking about the charges, the fees that parents have to pay when it comes to, sending their children to schools, we might not be able to talk about it all. That is why I am saying we have so much to do as parents. Like one of the audience rightly said, we have to stand in unity and talk. This is what we don't want anymore in this school. If everyone agrees, if everyone are standing on one point, of course they will be left with no option than to walk, than to dance. Yes, they will have to dance to your tune as the parent. But if some are saying, oh, we are comfortable with it, some are showing signs that well, we don't mind even if you tell us to bring a 100,000 naira for this and that, we'll gladly give it to you, then there will be no way forward. We'll keep just dancing in circles. We'll keep complaining about the same issue without positive response, positive outcome. And like I said, it is high time that government also do something. Develop public schools. When they see public schools are like competitor, when they see public schools as competitions, as their competitor, they'll definitely adjust all of these fees that they are asking parents to pay. Well, I just want to make a prayer that God gives every Nigerian parent listening to me the strength and the provision, likewise the wisdom to raise these children well, and may the future of our nation not be lost. Amen. And this is me saying thank you so much for sharing this space with me tonight. Thank you to every single one of you that called in, that sent messages, that wanted to be a part of the show. Thank you so much. Even those that listened quietly in the corners of your home, you're on your way back from work, anywhere you are. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with me and for being part of this truth telling family. Same time next Tuesday, we will be back with another episode of Which Way Nigeria. Remember to share this episode with someone, a friend, a colleague, your relative, anyone, or catch the replay on YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Yes, Lagos, tomorrow is another day and it's going to be a beautiful one in the studio. You want to join me at exactly 9:30 p.m. for our Wednesday relationship talk and guess who episode. We'll be diving into relationship discussions. You know how we do it on the show every Wednesdays. And of course, that second segment of the show, the guess who segment, where I become your love messenger. I call your partner, your sweetheart, your apple, the sugar in your tea, the apple of your eyes. Yes, you send me a message via the studio WhatsApp line, not text messages, with your name, your partner's name, their number, and that brief, emphasis on brief romantic message you want me to read to them live. And the twist is that when I read the message to them, when I call them live on the radio, they will have to guess who the sender of the message is. And of course, I always emphasize on the show that you don't tell them to expect a call, so it comes as a surprise to them. So get all of your guess who messages, get them ready for me tomorrow, because of course it's going to be a beautiful time in the studios. And remember, the earlier you come, the earlier you send me your guess who messages, the better. Also, remember to follow Voice of the People socials at Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. And this is the voice of Deollaa, your radio nighttime partner, and I'm saying, stay safe, stay well, and stay blessed. Do have for yourself a lovely, a beautiful night rest. Bye bye.